Hey, welcome back. This is going to be a different episode. Instead of me teaching you something, I would like for you to teach me something. So these are things that I wish I knew how to do, or I wish I had a better understanding on how to do on this loop station. I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me out, learn how to do different things, or at least like give me a link to a tutorial on how to do this, and to be more helpful than boss was when I was asking these questions. I will say I have already done a lot of research into trying to find out and understand these things a lot better. I've even contacted the company themselves and they have gotten back to me, but some things are just still unanswered and I have no idea how to do some of this stuff. If you could educate me, that would be really, really helpful. Let's start with the first thing, which is about assigns. Some of those things being the CC number. I saw that there was one actually really good tutorial on the CC numbers, but I personally wasn't able to follow along or understand it. It has something to do with DAWs or the actual like computer programs that we can use this for, and we can use this device as like a DAW interface. But I don't know. For some reason, I just can't understand what the CC numbers do. What does CC even stand for? And why are there so many? Why does it go up to 95 and not 99? Like, there's so many questions that I have. The next things that I want to learn is I want to learn more about Blindfold. So Blindfold is by Mate, and they use 2 MK1s to be able to pull off Blindfold. Well, my goal was to be able to learn how to do Blindfold with only 1 MK1. And I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, listen to this. That's really cool, dude. I'm really, really proud of being able to create Blindfold with just 1 MK1. But there's still some things that I don't fully grasp. Like, for example, how does Mate make the fluttering sounds? From what I understand, it's an EQ, a reverb, and a filter. A very specific filter that has a resonance that's really high and a cutoff that is of the note of the sound. But what is the actual input sound that Mate is making? I've tried like what input sound is happening in order to make the fluttering sounds? Like this is the closest I've got. Like, I feel like, how? The second thing is, how the heck do they make it? Is this powerful? What? Like, that synth, dude, is insane. How do you do that with an MK1? I have no clue. My guess is that they have to be using more than one delay. I think with the having 2 MK1s, you can't just layer up, so you can't just have 6 effects happening all at the same time. That's not how the device works. But how to do it like live with just your like voice, I know they're doing some changes with assigns, so they're changing the note via assigns on the track effects knob and turning that to be able to change the note. That has to be a way to combine that with several delays and changing the notes of the granular delays. But oh my gosh, it's so rich in sound. I also think that Chris Theodian also does this kind of synth, and I have no idea how they make it either. I wish I could do it live, but unfortunately both of these sounds I can't do live. Once I figured out how though, then I can do them live, and well, it's really not going to change much of my performance. Like, I think my performance of Blindfold is pretty much maxed out for just having one device. All right, that is enough talking about Blindfold. I basically wanted to talk about Blindfold a little bit to transition into the next idea that I wish I knew more about, and that is having 2 MK1s. What does that do? What does having 2 MK1s do? I actually proposed this question to Roland. I'm very conflicted. because Roland has been very, very helpful with answering my questions. They have gotten back to me at a reasonable amount of time. The actual information in there is really, really good. The reason I don't give them 5 out of 5 stars is because they didn't really answer this question. The email I got basically just skipped all of these questions, and they just sent me a link to a search result on YouTube, basically saying, well, if you just look with your fucking eyes, like,
yeah, so
what? Like,
your fucking eyes.
but I wouldn't be asking this question if I already did the same damn thing and got the same results. And no, the search link that they gave me doesn't show me anything, and it gives me the same results for when I did this myself. None of the videos that are on here actually answer any of the questions that I have on what happens when you hook up two MK1s. Let me ask my questions directly on what I want to know. So from what I understand, you can use one like a MIDI controller and the other one as it's like the actual recording. So you can set up more assigns if you wanted to. You can also do like bouncing tracks with a second MK1. So you can record a bunch of stuff here and then play them multiple times, record it all on one track. But you can do that with just one MK1. So that's pointless. 16 assigns is a lot of assigns, and I personally have not needed more than that, but there are some tracks that definitely could use some more assigns, so maybe that'd be useful. And then additionally, you have 5 more tracks to be able to play with, but 5 is a lot, and you get a 6th one over here, which I talk about in my advanced tricks video. So that's it? That's all you get? And then maybe some extra, like an extra input effect and track effect, like bank. Can you use 6 effects and have a 4th or a 5th or a 6th effect applied? Could I overlap effects that you couldn't before? Like, can I have a granular delay on this device and a dynamics on the other device? Or because they're hooked up, they're talking to each other, and therefore it's going to give me the like parentheses saying that no, you can't on here, which that would suck. How like do assigns get affected? So like, what is track 1 or 2 now? If I have an assign that says something about track 1, is it track 1 here or is it track 1 on the other device? What benefit does having 2 loop stations give you besides 5 more tracks and an extra FX bank? That doesn't seem like it's worth another $400 to me. But I know that people like Chris Theodian and Matei have utilized 2 MK1s to great success. Next thing that I wish I knew more about is, what does a MIDI pad do for loopers? I've seen a few loopers using it, like Frosty and Dice. My guess is you can also record specific sounds to it, so you can just and then just play those like a piano, similar to how Enemy does with their Chaos pad, which that's a pretty cool tool. But I noticed that they're pushing buttons when they're not recording something. My guess is that you can either assign assigns to each one of those buttons, and with doing that, you can essentially, instead of scrolling through all of the different track effects and input effects, you can literally just push one button and it'll change all of the effects to the thing that you need it to be. Last thing that I wish I understood is this email that I got from Roland. So another one of my questions that I asked about was, why can't you use certain effects with other effects? Like, why can't I have a granular delay at the same time as a robot or whatever? But yet I can if I use track effects. So it's clearly not a compatibility issue. What is the reason why I can't do that? Additionally, why is it that I can't have a delay on A or a dynamics on C? Like, what is preventing me from having all of those? And apparently it has something to do with latency, but I don't think I fully understand what this email is trying to say. Again, very helpful. Very, very helpful email. They answer the question pretty in depth. I just personally don't think I understand it in either the way it's worded or I'm just a dumbass, which is probably both true. If someone could maybe explain, like I'm 5, this email onto why we can't have certain effects on certain buttons, that would be very, very helpful. But that's pretty much it. That's all the things that I currently do not understand or don't know how to do If you have any insight at all, please leave a comment. You can also message me on Instagram. I'm Brad_Wizard on Instagram. Thank you for your help in this reverse tutorial. I will see you next time.